So here's the thing. Students, the very moment a teacher brings up the idea of taking on Shakespeare, often groan. They say the language is too old, it all took place so long ago, what does it matter now? And certainly that's an understandable complaint, particularly the complaint about the language, because the language is difficult. Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet, which we're going to be looking at in the 1590s. So that's a very long time ago. And one of the things about reading Shakespeare that you'll realize is that languages change as time goes on. Every generation does some reinventing of language. Words shift, the way they're pronounced shifts. So the question then becomes, why does anybody bother with reading Shakespeare? Well, clearly people do bother with it. Romeo and Juliet has been continuously performed all over the world for at least 400 or so years. It is a huge success as a play, and it is a story that has entered into the universal culture of the world. So as we move into this play, that's a question to keep in mind. What is it about this story, about these two families? And we all know the basic story. There are two families who hate one another. They are rivals and at odds with each other. And the son of one of these families and the daughter of the other fall in love with each other. And the play shows what happens as a result. So in the first place, why read Shakespeare has to do with making an effort to understand why other people have read Shakespeare, why other people bother with it. And then perhaps you begin to recognize why this story has the power that it does, even if you're feeling a little resistant to it. Secondly, why read Shakespeare? Well, there is no better way at becoming a better, more fluid, more empowered reader than to read a difficult text like Shakespeare's and learn to make the kind of guesses that good readers make, to put meaning together in this complicated and sometimes difficult poetry, which is not to say that it's all complicated and difficult. Some of it is remarkably simple and clear. But the act of struggling to put this meaning together will change your brain. It will turn you into a different kind of reader. So there's kind of a double payoff. One is that you get to become connected to one of the great stories in the culture of the world, in our human culture. And you get to ask some very big questions that the play asks. And you get to struggle with what those answers might be. On the other hand, you improve yourself as a reader. You change your brain as a reader. So those are two good reasons to start reading Shakespeare, to get over the hump and give it a try. But here's what I really think, is that if you get going in this play and you overcome any resistance you have and just push forward a bit, the story itself will grab you and will pull you along. And I think that the reasons I've given you for reading now will sort of disappear, and you will just be caught up in the excitement of moving through this play. So, best of luck as we get started, and I'll see you soon.